morning. So I've come to a local disused golf course on the outskirts of Nuneaton in the Midlands. It's a place I've been to a couple of times. Got a couple of really nice woodland shots which I'll put on the screen now. Yeah, as I say, it closed about 10 years ago. Really was inspired to come here by Steve Stain Photography. I'll put a link to his YouTube videos in the description below. Great videos. So yeah, plan this morning. Well, I don't really have one, to be honest with you. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, I don't really have one, to be honest with you. Really just to get out, see what I can find, hopefully bag a couple of nice shots and bring you along on the journey. So I'll give you an update a bit further along. So, I've arrived at the golf course. It's about a 15-minute walk, but it's all uphill from the car. So yeah, I've got a bit of a sweat on. But yeah, as you can see, it's all completely overgrown. It's crazy to think that used to be part of the fairway. But yeah, nature's reclaimed it. So I'm just going to walk around now, see what I can find. There is an abundance of silver birch around here. I don't know if you can see some of those in the background. The light today is very flat, so I'm not hopeful for a decent image, but it's a good place to at least come and scope out. You know, we've got autumn in a few weeks time, and you know, the silver birch, you know, when they start changing colour, should look absolutely beautiful. So let's see what we can find. If we don't get an image today, it's fine. At least I've got out, you know, I've been able to scope out the area, find some potential compositions, and yeah. So let's see what we find. So it appears that autumn has arrived early. I found a small collection of silver birch trees where the leaves have started going a sort of orangey goldy colour, sort of mixed in with some of the green leaves too. It stands out quite nicely. Keeping quite a simple composition with the tree on the left third, trying to keep the sky out of the photo as well. Shooting at a very wide aperture, 4.5 for this lens, and ISO 640. The reason I've gone for an aperture of 4.5 is I quite like that sort of out of focus look on the foreground and the background as well. It gives it kind of an ethereal look, I think. As I mentioned, shooting at ISO 640, there is a touch of wind in the air, so I'm just trying to compensate for that. You know, just to try and remove some of the movement in the leaves. But I think it should be quite a nice, you know, simple but elegant composition. What I'll do is I'll switch you over to the camera and show you what I'm looking at. So yeah, as I mentioned, I've got the trees on the left hand third, and you've got a sort of smattering of colours, you know, between the greens and the oranges and the whites of this long grass in the foreground and the background there. Quite a simple composition. I've just been very careful to make sure that those small collection of trees have a little bit of separation between them. And one thing I'm not overly keen on is there seems to be a twig on the bottom right hand third. I don't know if you can see that, just there. I think I'll take that out in post. It's a bit of a distraction, but yeah, overall quite happy with this. I don't think it's an award winner by any stretch of the imagination, but just quite a nice photo. And yeah, it'd be interesting to come back here in a couple of weeks once those leaves have really started to change colour, and yeah, see how it looks then. Anyway, so I'm going to move on now, see what other compositions I can potentially find. It's quite a big area, obviously being a golf course, so yeah, I'll let you know what I find. I think I found another composition. For the past sort of 5 or 10 minutes I've been sort of working the composition a little bit. Again, it's involving some silver birch trees, 3 in particular. Basically I've got 1 silver birch on the left hand side, 1 on the right hand side, and 1 snap bang in the middle. The 2 on the left and the right are kind of covered in shade, and you've got the 1 at the front which is lit up by the soft light from the clouds. It's quite a nice image. I've got the tripod quite high, again to try and cut the sky out the image. I find that a bit of a distraction in my woodland photography. But also there's a sort of dominant branch coming in from the left hand side on the left hand tree, and I find it a bit clumsy if you have a diagonal coming in directly from the corner of an image, so I like to just keep that slightly off the corner. Again, I think it's quite a nice image. Shooting at 1/50 shutter speed, f8, ISO 800. Again, bumping the ISO up today. There's a touch of wind in the air. I just want to try and get those leaves as sharp as I can, really. So yeah, I think it should turn out to be quite a nice image. I'll put you onto the camera now. What you'll see in the actual photo is that it's a bit of a wider crop than this. When I use the video on the camera, it kind of crops in. But yeah, again, as I mentioned, you've got a tree on the left hand side which is dark, and a tree on the right hand side which is dark. But then you've got this foreground silver birch which is kind of you know, got a bit of soft light on it. Makes out to be quite a nice, you know, minimalist image, I want to say. So yeah, let's see how that turns out. If it's any good, I'll pop it up now. Okay, so I think I've got my last shot of the day. Again, silver birch. As I say earlier, you know, there's quite an abundance of them here, but a little bit different than the past 2 photos. So in this photo I've opted to have a bit of a foreground interest. I found these really bright yellow flowers. I've no idea what they are, so if you do know, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, I think it's going to work out as quite a nice shot. I've opted to leave the flowers themselves out of focus. As I mentioned earlier, I do quite like that kind of ethereal, kind of almost dreamy look in some of my photos. basically leading in to the two silver birch in the background. If I switch over to the camera now and I'll show you what I mean. So as a foreground, as I say, I've got these flowers that are out of focus. I will bring up the saturation those a little bit in post. And then you've got the two silver birch in the background, which are quite dominant in the scene. So it's kind of a bit of a half and half. You've got a bit of light and shade. Yeah, quite a nice photo. If it's any good, I'll show you now. Right, so I think that's it for this morning. It's been a good outing. Yeah, I've got a couple of shots that I think might work. Nothing game changing, but somewhere to return to a couple of times. I think it'll be interesting when we get to autumn, even winter, to be honest with you. I know that Steve Stanstein got some great shots in the winter here last year. I'll put a link to that video in the description. It's a really good video. But yeah, well, just want to say thank you all for watching. This whole vlogging thing is completely new to me, and I'm bound to have messed it up, but it is what it is. Every day's a learning day. But yeah, as I say, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, give us a like, subscribe. I'm not planning to do vlogs too frequently, but I'll do them when I can. So yeah, hopefully I can bring you along with me. But as I say, thanks for watching. See you soon.